So with a little bit of ingenuity, you can get indicators to do almost anything you want. The same is true of education. You can use gross numbers, like what proportion of the kids go to school, but then you have to answer the question, what proportion of the kids who go to school learn anything? Just as when you look at nourishment, what proportion of kids get school lunches? What proportion of the kids who get school lunches eat them? Children are notoriously finicky about rejecting the lunches provided by boards of education. And even in poor countries, you'll find children bringing lunch to school rather than confiding in the school cafeterias. Another indicator might be how much reading. And there are ways of measuring it, like how many book titles are published per capita. But this doesn't tell you how large an edition of each book. How does the price of books compare to the monthly income of people? So, you might look at the content, depends how much poetry is absorbed by the population. Or European classics. You might use measures of world knowledge. And one of the striking things about Cuban children is how knowledgeable they are of world affairs. I remember I was sitting in an outdoor restaurant in Havana, and I was approached by two small kids who looked as if they were 9 or 10 years old. And what they wanted was for me to buy some chicken for their mother's birthday. And she hadn't had chicken in a long time. But we got to talking, and this was the time of the case of Elian Gonzalez. Do any of you remember that? Elian was the kid.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Hmm? He drifted in an inner tube.
That's right, that's right.
And then there was a big battle as to who had custody. Well, these 9 and 10-year-olds knew all the details of the case and what Janet Reno was going to decide and what his relatives were like in Havana, in Miami. Kids are extraordinarily knowledgeable. And that would be one of the indicators of education. In front of every school, there's a bust of Jose Marti with the inscription, "Be cultured to be free." And there's a great deal of importance given to reading and to studying literature and art. And even during the period of economic collapse, they increased the schools for art teachers. And they have one school to prepare teachers for working with autistic children. Both Cuba and Venezuela have daily news programs with sign language.